It's a really interesting story. Over the weekend, actress Rose McGowan said she's no longer a Hollywood Democrat and threw her support behind Gavin Newsom challenger Larry Elder in California's heated gubernatorial recall election. Let's take a listen to that.
I know this place has it in it to be better. I know it does. I've met so many good people in this country. Not the elites. Absolutely not. But the person I meet, that's the housekeeper at the hotel I'm staying at, who shouldn't even have that title because she's a queen of a woman. And then we have the Jennifer Siebel Newsoms of the world.
So you just heard her mention Jennifer Siebel Newsom. McGowan also accused Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, of bribing her to suppress the Weinstein scandal. Here's her story.
Jennifer Siebel Newsom, I think that is her name, yes. She called me. And she set up a meeting with me to meet her somewhere in Brentwood. And I actually went, and I got very creeped out, and I saw her sitting where I was supposed to meet her, and I looked at her, and I turned around and went back into my car and drove away. She wanted to meet me. She reached out to me.
When is this? Just to be clear?
This is about 6 months before the New York Times article on Weinstein that I set up broke.
Okay.
And she called me on behalf of a Theranos board member, the lawyer for longtime lawyer of Hillary and Bill and Clinton and Weinstein, one David Boyce. So this woman, I don't know, some blonde lady named with the last name of Newsom, cold calls me and it's like, David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy.
David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy. McGowan also tweeted Newsom's connection to the Weinstein case, detailing the various connections. She writes, Jennifer Siebel Newsom's sister is married to a partner at the Boyce Schiller law firm, Joshua Irwin Schiller. Rose McGowan thinks Jennifer Siebel Newsom wants to speak with her about supporting women directors in Hollywood. They agree to meet. Rose sees through Jennifer's false gesture and leaves. Shortly after Rose canceled the meeting, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, who's Gavin Newsom's wife again, she called Rose McGowan directly and asked, what could Boyce Schiller do to make you happy? Now, after Weinstein was exposed publicly, Jennifer Siebel Newsom got into a Weinstein victims only group. In that email, she admits to having made the phone call to Rose, but changes happy to heal. So can you spot the manipulation? That's what Rose McGowan tweeted. So this is a huge story. You'll notice the clip that was played just there was from One America News Network. Rose McGowan is one of the people one of the biggest people behind taking down Harvey Weinstein, a victim of Harvey Weinstein, and she is making huge and important allegations about somebody in a heated recall, and no network other than conservative media is covering it, despite the Me Too fervor that consumed the legacy media for a year after the Weinstein case broke. Nobody wants to touch Rose McGowan now because she's actually questioning the entire system and not just one person. She's questioning the entire political establishment in the country, and now they don't want to talk about it. Ryan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Rose is to the elite the kind of person that has gone rogue.
Yeah, she goes on Tucker.
Right. And if you're a member of the elites, you're allowed to go rogue in order to take down somebody who then goes down.
Yep.
Like if you win that fight, then you are welcomed back into the elite. That person, Harvey Weinstein, is thrown out, and everything continues as it was. And the elite circle kind of recoalesces, comes back, recongeals, comes back together.
It's like a worm; it grows back.
Exactly. And so you're entitled that rogue behavior if you win. If you lose, you're out. You can never come back in. But it's expected that that's it. You took this person on. Hey, we shunned them. We got rid of them. What are you still complaining about? Like, so if you are still speaking up, then you are considered to be a full-on rogue actor and are no longer a welcome member of the elite club anymore. And I think that's where Rose now finds herself. Kim, you're from L.A. You're in L.A.
I am.
Do I have that right? Are those the rules of kind of elite behavior?
Yeah, I mean, clearly you're not allowed to take out somebody who is, what we're seeing is you're not allowed to take out somebody who is potentially going to be replaced by a Republican. So it seems to be okay, like in the case of Cuomo, for example, where he's going to be replaced with another Democrat. He's not as at risk. for that state to flip. But in this situation, I mean, what really stands out to me in this story is how connected everybody in positions of power actually are. It's disgusting. I mean, it's like we're run by a cabal in this country. Why are all of these people? Why is Gavin Newsom's wife getting involved and calling Rose McGowan? I mean, at first that story sounded almost unbelievable, right? It's like, what in the world? Why would she call Rose McGowan and say, oh, I mean, Rose McGowan didn't even really know her name, right? So it's like, it wasn't like they were friends and suddenly she said, well, let's go do lunch. And by the way, what are you doing with, why are you taking Harvey down? I mean, this is, why did Jennifer, and then we see kind of the receipts, right, that Rose McGowan is able to provide. So then it said, okay, well, then I guess the story's true. But it just shows that they're all connected. And this is why so many of us are disgusted. This is why I'm voting to recall Gavin Newsom. I'm disgusted with the elites. I'm disgusted with the establishment. He goes and dines at French Laundry with lobbyists, and his wife is, trying to run interference for Harvey Weinstein. This is disgusting, and this is the problem.
Because she makes money from it, and because she has these connections to boys. And I think one of to Kim's point, they're all connected, but there are also just like incredible consequences to that level of interconnectedness. And it's a good example of how Democrats take for granted. We talked earlier in the show about how they take for granted minority voters. They take for granted women voters too, because Gavin Newsom and the Democratic establishment, they will talk a big game about Me Too and feminism and women's empowerment. But in the sort of shadow of the media where, Washington Post likes to say democracy dies in darkness, and then just sort of turns down the light on Democrats and focuses most of its energy on Republicans, Gavin Newsom gets away with this BS. And were it not for Rose McGowan, who sort of feels unshackled right now because these people have sort of turned their backs on her anyway, were it not for Rose McGowan, voters would not know that Jennifer Siebel Newsom and the Newsom family was conducting itself that way. And that's just, I think, a real, and by the way, you only have places like One America News Network broadcasting it live instead of, major networks and major outlets, which would rather turn away from the story because now that Rose McGowan is flirting with, Republicanism, she's unhinged and a fringe lunatic, and we can't take her seriously anymore.
Right, and we know from Ronan Farrow's reporting that it seems like practically everybody in the Hollywood and Democratic elite called Rose at some point in the months, in the many months leading up to the New York Times story, finally telling her story. She was just Newsom's wife was just one agent of this massive effort to get her to back off. She didn't do it, and all the credit to her.
Remember when Hillary called Ronan?
Well, they punted on an event that he was supposed to do an interview. We'll pick this up some other time.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Real shame. We're not going to be able to do this right now. Tomorrow on Rising, Andrew Fishman, contributing writer for The Intercept, will be on to give all the details on the indigenous group protesting Jair Bolsonaro's plans to quite literally pave the way for industry in the Amazon. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.